Good morning. This is the Friday Fireside. I am here with Rose Adkins Hulse from ScreenHits TV in London. Rose, how are you this morning?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
We are doing very well. We are surviving through all this insanity. And I think that in London, you've gone through the same insanity we have. Is that right?
We are, but the sun's out and we never get that. So I'm really happy. We're at like 83 degrees this week. So there's nothing bad that could really happen.
There's nothing bad that can happen in the sun. Somebody must have written a book about that. Anyway, so Rose, tell us about ScreenHits TV. How did it get started? How did you get started with it? And we'll go from there.
Well, the boring part, which I'll say really quick, ScreenHits started out as a business-to-business platform, which aggregated all the content from studios and producers and distributors that were looking to sell their content rights internationally. And it's been quite successful for us, but we noticed over the past few years a change in the industry. We've been watching with excitement a lot of our content partners starting to create their own streaming platforms, the rise of the Netflixes and the Amazons and the Disney Pluses and HBO Max, it goes on. And just seeing the fragmentation in the market and just kind of seeing who was going to kind of be that front runner to kind of come out and make it easy for everyone. There's never been so much content available. And about 18, 20 months ago, we were just looking at our technology to figure out how we can continue to just address some of our customer needs, since they were not selling as much content internationally, they were keeping it all to put on their platforms. How we can solve the annoyance that the customer finds. And one of the biggest is like my own frustration when I end up buying something on Amazon, but God darn it was free on Netflix that I pay a subscription for. And so I just thought with the team, what can we, we have this aggregator, and it's an amazing aggregator because it gets right to the point. It's not trying to be fancy, although I think it looks a bit sleek, but it's really to the point. And that's how it kind of came about.
It's interesting. I have believed for quite a while. I grew up in the cable business, and at least on this side, cable didn't develop in the same way in the UK. But over here, the cable operator was, in point of fact, an aggregator. Okay, yeah, it was a packager and a reseller and an aggregator. And as I mentioned before, it used to be a lot simpler. But folks have been around for a while, like me, have thoroughly screwed up the television business. We've created so much content in so many different places that nobody can find it. So how do they find you, and where do they find you?
Yeah, so we're launching in July in the US and the UK, and then we'll be rolling out in different territories around the rest of the world over the summer and fall. People can find us, through our platform, through our app in the App Store, on their mobile, so we're Android and iOS. We'll be on smart TVs, Samsung's one of them, and also on the Fire Stick and Chromecast. And we'll continue to keep adding devices as we go.
Interesting. So if somebody finds you, what do they see? What do they do? What do they pay? How does that all work?
It's the most simplest process because I simplify everything.
We like that.
It is literally, you go to the platform, ScreenHitsTV.com, and if you already have existing streaming services, it's perfect for you. So you could say, okay, I have Amazon, I have Netflix, I have Disney, I have HBO Go, and you can integrate them all for free. You have to be an existing subscriber, but you can integrate those for free into our organizing tool, our discovery tool, and then it'll ask you a few questions on your profile, and it creates your own personalized EPG, I guess you can call it. And then if you wanted to add different channels, if you wanted to add bundles, you could do that or not. So it's free. At that point, you finally get on, and then what you see is a homepage. And that homepage allows you to see what is trending across all of your platforms. You're able to continue watching whatever you're watching across all the platforms, and your recommendations based on kind of your search functionality. And one tool that I love the most is a shared carousel. So your friends may say, oh, you got to watch Ozark on Netflix. Oh, you got to watch This Is Us on Amazon Prime. People don't hear all of the brands, they just hear the show, and then it's constantly like, well, where am I going to find it? Well, when on ScreenHits, it's just all right there, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to open up every platform to see it. And then the next really easy aspect of our site is you can go to the EPGs, the TV guide. It's a simple TV guide from the 1980s. Your cable EPG. Yeah, and it just, you can see all of your channels in one, and then to the right, what's available. And it will always base it off of your preferences and recommendations.
So, okay, now to be able to do that, Netflix and some other providers have had to let you under the hood, right? You're digging into the metadata. Those are always interesting negotiations. How does that work for you?
You know, I have to say that we've been, you know, people have been really amazing with us, and I think it's because we've been in the industry for 8 years on the business to business side, so we have existing
Trust you.
Well, we're not like a small tech company, you know, from the hood, I guess, saying, oh, give us all of your data. I mean, it's, you know, one of our biggest clients for the past few years has been Warner Media. You know, we developed their technology for their streaming platform. We work with some of the largest security companies in the world with Invisible Forensic Watermark. And so it was based on relationships. And, you know, a lot of our partners, they want to be discovered as well, you know. What we found out from a lot of research is that a customer could have 3 apps, right? They're going to go on one all the time. And I'm not going to say one. I'm not going to, you know, give anyone any more prevalence, but they might go on one all the time. And then they might have 2 others that if they can't find anything on the one, they might, for the next 15% of the time, go look on the others. Even though their customers paying for all of those 3 in their full capacity, they're not using them in their full capacity. And so those other platforms, one, they're probably not getting their original programming out as much, they're not being discovered, they're not being used, and their biggest fear is losing that customer. So how can they always stay top of mind on that customer? And it's the same for the consumer. If they realize they're only going on one platform all the time, even if they're not finding what they want, they're gonna just drop the others. Right. And so what our platform does is it really benefits everyone. It benefits the OTT partner, and it benefits the consumer. So everyone's content is always top of mind. And I think that's why some of our partners have said, you know what, actually, this is great. You guys are not creating original programming. You're not licensing content. You're completely agnostic. You're not pushing someone's over the others. And that's something that a lot of the aggregators don't have.
No, that's right. I've believed for a long time that the first place the consumer goes is the one who wins. And on our side, it's always made an enormous amount of sense to me on the consumer level that somebody like Disney Plus or CBS All Access or HBO Max or even Netflix would actually take the responsibility of providing all of the content in a guide form, in an instructional form, so the consumer would know, yeah, I'll go there, and if I don't find what I need, it's real easy to go to the other place, but I'll go to this place first. Now, how do you get them? You are now number one in the consumer's mind if we can get them there. How do you get them there? Well, how do you promote this? How do you acquire users? And we'll get to whether they're subscribers or not in a minute. How do you acquire eyeballs?
You know, I think we're doing a lot of really specific and targeted marketing, working with, you know, reaching out to a lot of people that already have existing streaming services that are quite frustrated and they want to organize those. That is our customer. And then from there, we work with them and make sure that they have the best experience possible. Some of our content partners are working with us as well. So they're going to be promoting us to their customers. As you know, giving them like, you know, free access to this so they can be able to use it because they see the benefit there. So we're really lucky in that way. We're doing some really unique partnerships with corporate brands that'll be coming out where they're going to be targeting their customer base. So, you know, we're using a lot of, you know, unique marketing tricks that I won't give out because there are some competitors kind of coming up. So okay,
so now we talk about brands, we talk about getting people there. So here's the $10 million question: how do you make money?
So ScreenHits, we do have an administrative fee or an entry-level fee that people can pay. So we do work with some partners that are AVOD, so they don't have an SVOD, which is a subscription video on demand platform. And so in order for our customers to access that premium content, they pay a $1.99 fee. That gives them premium live TV, and it gives them premium AVOD content. And it also gives them access to use and unlock a lot of special features on the platform that they wouldn't get for just the free version.
What about advertising? Are you going to sell it?
Right now, our partners are able to integrate their own advertising into their shows, and they get to own that. We would not do advertising on our platform because we just don't want it to be this experience where ads are just constantly popping up, abusing the viewer. The whole point of ScreenHits is a nice, clean viewing discovery experience. We will probably partner with corporate brands, but I think take it back to 1950, where a brand might, sponsor a partner overall with a comedy genre or with a drama genre, and where it makes sense and it's not invasive.
Tonight is brought to you by Pepsi, for example, right? The big overall hit. So yeah, you mentioned TV Guide, and I was there when we actually had TV Guide magazine. Remember that? That ended up getting so big it was like mailing a Bible out every week. But of course, their model was they sold advertising in print, obviously, on the page and on interactive, which there is still a service called TV Guide Interactive. Adjacent to the listings. It sounds like you're not currently looking to add specific ads adjacent to the listings. Will you sell tune-in ads to the content owners in the listings?
No, that's something that's actually given to our partners. So our partners are able to have interstitials and the promotions of other sort of content to promote their shows. I mean, we're really, one of the unique things about our platform over others is that we have found a way to make a profit and to benefit without having to take everything away from our content partners. I mean, at the end of the day, companies like ours are successful because content partners want to work with us. And so we've really given them, they get to make the big amount of the money through our platform, and we get a little bit for like the tech and the administrative part and the work that we do. Our 15 launch partners, really, we gave them the world because they gave us the world. They gave us this opportunity to work with them and create the future of TV. So,
and that's huge. That's huge. Okay, so now your launch in the U.S. is close to when NBC Universal's Peacock comes in. Do you have them as a partner?
We are working with NBC Universal, yes.
Good for you. So now, and you've got HBO Max, I think you said, right?
We work with all the big studios, and we will be announcing in a press release within the next few weeks all of our launch partners. So I'm not going to give that away right now.
All right, we won't.
I will not say who our launch partners are right now. Okay. But it is coming out, and I'll make sure that you get that release.
Well, I'll certainly make it pop. Well, listen, Rose, thank you for your time. We've about used up our time. Do you have any parting words that you'd like to give to our audience, which is primarily the television and advertising and investment community here in the U.S.? What do you want to tell them?
I want to say thanks to all of the big companies that have supported ScreenHits, a female-based technology company, and that have made this an amazing product. It's an amazing product because of the partners that we're working with. And I have to say, I admire that people are now kind of thinking, how can we make the viewing experience for the customer top of mind and key? And they really are putting the customer first, which is amazing as a viewer and a customer myself. And the advertising community, I'm excited to look at different ways and them just kind of placing ads on our platform, but more truly integrated ways to help brands not seem as though they're constantly paying for that spot.
I get that. Well, Rose Adkins Hulse from ScreenHits TV, thank you very much for joining us.
Have a nice afternoon and morning.
Well, when this airs, actually it comes up at 7 in the morning our time, so it'll be about noon Friday your time in the UK. So I'm going to stop recording now, and thank you very much.